Hi there, I'm Beth Stefaniak from messymarriage.com with another edition of Sloppy Joe Time. Today I'm talking about a sloppy expectation that I still struggle with sometimes. It's the expectation that when my husband is bothered by something, stressed, maybe in a bad mood, maybe not feeling well, that somehow it is my fault or my responsibility. That's when I get a little too close to the situation. I become myopic. Anytime I'm reading something now, I have to have reading glasses because it's blurry. And that's what happens when I take personally what my husband is going through that maybe has nothing to do with me. I take it personally. And in those times, I tend to do two really not so good, pretty sloppy things in those moments. Sometimes I will try to defend myself because I feel like maybe he is angry with me. And the problem really isn't about me. And so I'm trying to convince him that it's not about me instead of convincing myself that it's not my responsibility. This situation isn't my responsibility. And so I'm adding a burden to his already overburdened plate when I do that, and that is something he has to deal with, my defensiveness in that moment, as well as the pressure that he's feeling. So that's not productive, it's not helpful to him. And the second thing I try to do sometimes is I try to minimize. I'll say, oh, it's really not that big of a deal, honey. Or I'll say, the logic of this situation is that you're going to be just fine, when he really is focusing on the emotion of that situation, and I need to let him have that moment to talk about how he feels, to validate his emotions in those moments. Now, it's really hard to see that when I'm in the heat of the moment, but the more I recognize it before and after, the better off I am in those situations to say, this is something my husband is going through. It has nothing to do with me, and I need to care about his feelings, of course, but I don't need to carry his emotions or his feelings or take responsibility for his emotions. I can ask him questions that help him to process what he's feeling. I can be a listening ear. I can be understanding of what he's facing and give him a hug, let him know that I really do hurt for him. Those are ways that I can help him in that moment, but trying to take responsibility for what he's going through is not the right response. Now, there's a flip side to this. Sometimes I will be the one coming and feeling like I've got permission. I give myself permission to be irritated or grouchy. And there's ways that I can handle that better too. That's a sloppy expectation as well. So I'll be talking about that next time. I hope you'll join me again for another Sloppy Joe Time. Thanks so much for listening.